What up, guys? We're all back again.
What up?
Hey,
I'm feeling pretty good. So, you asked me about this in the pre-show about my shirt, and I was like,
Mm.
you ever put a shirt on that and it just smells right sometimes, and you just feel safe in it. And that's how I feel tonight in it. So it's all good. Anyway, guys, everybody, welcome to the show, and
Welcome.
hopefully everybody's doing well. I want to start by saying Happy Mother's Day to all the great moms out there. I hope everybody had a
Absolutely.
great time yesterday with their families and loved ones on Mother's Day. I did not. I was by myself all day. Yay, So, but I was. So I mean, it is what it is. My mom decided to stay down in Florida for another week. So, but she's doing well. I talked to her a couple of times. I FaceTime her, but I want to say.
Your audio cut out.
yeah,
Yeah, you sound like you're in another
you
room.
just faded right away.
Really, is it still here?
It's better
No,
now.
you're back now.
I wonder what happened.
I don't know.
Maybe it's the Mother Mary. What about now?
You're good.
It's fine now. Yeah, you're good now. Yeah, I just didn't want you to go into a long
Okay.
spiel, and you have to repeat it.
Yeah. So anyway, where I was going with that is, there's a bunch of awesome moms out there, awesome
There you go.
grandmothers. There's a lot of grandmothers that we all wish we had to, and all that, that they are really good at what they do. Also, I want to tell everybody that's reached out, I'm doing fine. I'm going to be okay. I know that a lot of people, I don't talk about my personal life, but I do talk about my struggles with PTSD and stuff of that nature. And, some of the pain sometimes that people have, just to kind of give you kind of an idea of what it feels like is, we've all lost a friend before. I lost my best friend. But we've all lost a friend. And then maybe if we haven't, maybe we've been in that relationship with that person that's the greatest of all time, and we've lost that. Put those two together, and that's what this type of pain feels like, right? So it is what it is, but I don't want to keep anybody down. I just want to tell everybody this is a great community. A lot of people reached out to me. I am fine. I that's not a true statement, but I'm going to be okay. All right. And I know that I keep my personal, I have my own personal demons and stuff like that. But, and I know I've always been able to tell you guys how I feel, and, but I am fine. So let's just have fun. So anyway, so guys, welcome to the show. I'm having a little bit of, I wanted kind of a proof of life concept here. I wanted to have something good, and so I poured myself a little Nelson Brothers Honey Cast, and it's good stuff, and I'm excited about it. And reminisce a little bit about it because people that's had it, they've had it either good times or with those people, and so it gives you something to reminisce about. So there you go.
Nice.
What about the rest of you guys?
I'll go ahead next. Right now, I am enjoying a pour of the Penelope Architect. This bottle was actually a gift from Chuck, if I remember correctly. So thank you, Chuck. This is a fantastic bottle. I'm enjoying it. And interesting to kind of go back to you're drinking the Nelson Brothers Honey Cask. See, when I'm not, life's kind of roughed me up, and I'm not in a great mood about it, I always go to the peated scotch, and you went to like the opposite of that. Like, it's like I need something. It's like if you're like depressed and you listen to depressing music, I'm doing that. And like you're listening to music to beat your mom to. That's sort of like the metaphorical.
Well, that is true. So so over the last few days since we'll say Friday, because that's about the time I started feeling real insignificant in my life and stuff like that. But since then, I hadn't been able to listen to country music at all because there's too many things that tells a story that I can relate.
It's all sad songs, man.
Yeah. Music. And then even some rock songs, you're like, kind of brings you too close. So you're right. Like the things I've listened to the most recently is I actually am lying. I have not listened to a lot of music at all. I've listened to a lot of silence. Even when I've worked out every day, and I just haven't listened to anything of. It's hard sometimes, like I was telling you before. Take that pain, whatever that major pain is that you've ever had in your life, and take that one thing and then multiply it times 10. That's how sometimes depression or PTSD and stuff like that, all service related stuff, can hit you. and then you have these little triggers that amplify it, and sometimes they get a little bit off. And so that's what I'm trying to say. But again,
No, I get it.
if I said I'm at peace with everything, that's a lie. I'd be lying if I said that I was happy. That's a lie. But at some point, I'll be fine. It just may take a really long time. So,
well, man, I'm
appreciate
here.
it. Appreciate it.
We're here first of all, but I'm here, dude. You reach out.
Yep.
I hate to know that you maybe you didn't want to be around other people on Sunday, but if you ever just want to hang out, dude, like just hit me up. I don't do shit Sunday. So
well, I had planned
other than talk to my mom, by the way. So we'll get to that. I had a long conversation with her. It was
I had two conversations with my mom. She was coming home on Friday, and I was planning on. I had a pretty cool plan for Saturday night into Sunday morning, and I was going to make this big breakfast and all that, and put the church service on the TV or whatever, right? And then, or go to church, whatever, and kind of do that kind of thing. And I didn't do any of that. I mean, I did go to church. And I will tell you this. Wow, we're getting really deep tonight, but go to church by yourself. Whew, that sucks. They're honoring all these moms, and I'm like, hey, good moms. Just me.
Yeah, that's gotta.
Yeah.
I think you picked a particular. Yeah, I'm not going to get into anything.
Well, I'm a person of
It
faith.
seems like no. I'm like you probably picked a particularly bad time to go by yourself.
Well, it's also the reason why everything was already coming down on all that is this weekend. Yesterday was my mother and father's 53rd wedding anniversary, and my dad's been gone since 2014. So, and so it brought up a lot of that, and and here's the thing. And this is kind of what I was telling. My mom about. She was like, because she ended up changing her mind, staying another week and all that. Because we'll just say she just decided to change differently. She didn't want to be around her son that might have been a little bit upset or something like that, right? But anyway, and I don't blame her. I wouldn't want that either, But where I was going with that is that I don't really know where I was going with that. I really don't. I've kind of over talking about all of that. I really would rather talk about stuff. I mean, I know this is bar talk.
Yeah.
And this would be something we would do at the bar.
That's what we do.
What we do at the bar. Sometimes
and I did have a good time. I did have a good time Saturday night with Jordan. Jordan reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, you want to get like this was Saturday night. He's like, hey, you want to get a drink?" And I'm like, or he actually asked me if I want to go to dinner, and I was like, I've already eaten because I did make myself food on Saturday. I made myself. That wasn't Saturday. I made Sunday. I made yesterday. I made poutine with fresh steak cooked to a medium rare, and then sliced it up, put it on top of it with brown gravy, cheese curds. I put some jalapenos on it and then some chipotle. And man, I tell you what, it was good. It was fantastic.
See,
took a picture of it. I'll share it in the VIP. But
that just, cool. I mean, I'm hungry now. Like,
but it's all good. Either way, back to where we were going. I want to make sure. I mean, there's a lot of great moms out there, and then also now we're in the stage where there's some of my people or grandparents, and some of the people I went to school with or have been lifelong friends with are the best grandparents, or the grandparents that make you think of your grandparents and stuff like that. And so it's just really cute. It's sweet and stuff like that. But anyway, that's what it is, man. It is what it is. So anyhow, what about you guys? What'd you do for your wife there, Gina?
Yeah. Oh, what I
First of all, did you already go into what you're drinking tonight? Did we already? Because I know we talked about it before.
No, I did not.
You should do
about it in the pre-show
do that.
briefly.
Then talk about your Mother's Day. Yep.
Okay, Redwood Empire, the Emerald Giant.
Yes, sir.
This is a rye. It's one of Redwood Empire's nice ryes. This doesn't drink as a typical rye. Normally, when you have a rye, you get hit over the head with a little bit of baking spices and this and that, a little bit of bite to it. This is almost the opposite. The baking spices are there, but they're kind of muted. It has an overall kind of like a honey sweetness type profile to it. Not exactly honey, not cloyingly sweet like a lot of the rums will be. but it is very approachable, very drinkable, and like I said, it does not drink like a rye. It's one of the ones that I enjoy. I like the regular one, and the cast strength is even far better. So whichever one that you can find at your local spot.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen the
picking up.
cast strength of the. You said that was Emerald Giant.
Yeah,
I've not seen that one, but
But
I'm a huge fan of
it
Emerald
is
Giant.
delicious.
Yeah.
I think you can still get it off their website if you wanted to. Well,
We can't order
no,
it.
you guys can't.
That actually brings up a very interesting conversation that kind of ducktails off of the whole thing about Tennessee passing that law back in 2017, July 31st. I found out today. I went to the head shop. We'll just call it. That's what it is. It's the Vapor Smoke or whatever it's called that you go to as well, Dave, up here by my house.
The one up by the
Old Vapor shop.
By the liquor store, right?
Yeah.
So
anyway, I stopped by there today, and I found out that some lobbyists came through and made it. I don't know what they did, but anyway, there's been some new legislation that passed, goes into effect in January of next year, and most of the gummies or edibles and stuff like that are only going to be able to be sold at liquor stores. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I wonder why. And then I was thinking, man, the freaking Patels and all that, they must have just got down there and were like, you guys are not going to take away our profit, because I do know a lot of liquor stores. So
I'll be honest with you. I've been into this was some months ago now, but I went into one and it was probably run by a Patel. And I asked him a couple questions about some of this stuff, and he just looked at me like, I have no idea what any of this shit is. Like, I am just here to sell it to you. Like, I didn't care.
And see, that's what I liked about.
Okay.
That's what I like about where I was at today. The one right down there from. That's the third.
They know what they're talking about. Some of those.
Well, I mean, I tell them the story. I'm like, look, I walk in there. I'm like, every time they move stuff around. So I'm like, well, I'd rather get you the liquid stuff. That's what I was trying tonight. This is a 101 milligrams of THC, and it's called a punch. And he told me not to drink the whole bottle, so I took about a teaspoon, which is what he told me to take.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll probably be stuck to the floor here in a little bit, but but I will tell you this. So he knows my whole story. He's got all my information plugged into the system, so I get the discount and all of that every time. But
Chuck, just here for the profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. But I had told him that, like one of the things that if there's any veterans watching, which I know there are some, but one of the big things about veterans when you go to the VA, and this is one of the things that is associated with socialized medicine. And I'm not trying to make this political, but like I've seen my counselor every 2 weeks for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen her in 2.5 months now. And it's hard to get back on the schedule. So I'm having to pay for an external doctor that I'm going to have to see, which I go see next week. But not that you guys want to know all this stuff. What I'm trying to say is that I went in there and told them all this. The VA prescribes like this litany of drugs. Like they'll just say like, you got all these problems. We'll just give you this, this, and this. Well, they don't tell you any of the side effects that are associated with them or anything like that. Or the sheer fact that if you don't take one, there's side effects to that, right? Mm-hmm. Or which ones are important, which ones are not. And I was like, dude, we're talking about, to be perfectly honest with you, being total and permanent service-related issues and all. It's about 5 different drugs a day I would take if I was just going to take those. And I was like, that's just not pragmatic. So I talked to both my counselor and my psychiatrist. I'm like, what do y'all recommend? I don't want to do this rest of my life. I just don't. That's not how I want to do it. Mm-hmm. So there's one I have to stay on forever. I can never come off of it. It helps for 2 things, and Dave knows what that other thing is. It's no STDs or anything like that. It's a shaken problem. But sometimes I have to add some, even if I'm having a bad day, I gotta bring some funniness into it. But
keep the herpaderpit at bay.
Gonorrhea, syphilis, herpes, AIDS. Yeah. I was talking about that the other day with So my bartender normally at Southern Trek, I can get so into different stories. Let me finish the one with the military first.
Okay.
So anyway, those guys. So I went down there. I was like, so I talked to my counselor and psychiatrist, and I was like, look, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. We got to come up with a better solution. And they're like, we can prescribe you marijuana and cigarettes. I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's not my jam. You know, it's just not what I want to do. And there's personal reasons. Obviously, I know marijuana is. I'm taking THC right now. I understand all these things associated with it. I don't typically like the whole illicit drugs, and the reason why is because I did lose my brother to heroin.
We're losing you again on audio.
I don't know why that is. Maybe it's me.
Yeah, I don't know if you're
No.
pressing a button or something, because as soon as you cut back, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You're perfectly fine. It just
And
like
it has no bearing the closest to your microphone either, because just prior to right then, you were just perfect, and all of a sudden it just went.
It's like you ended up in your own noise cancellation or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know what to say about that.
I can hear you fine now. No, I also understand what you were saying before about not.
But yeah,
wanting to
so
get too much into,
every time I go down there, I ask
to
them,
self-medicating with drugs, basically. Like,
well, with THC that's legal. So
yeah.
So when I go down there,
yeah, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, I was talking about any kind of.
Well, it's the only downside to THC. Again, this would be bar conversation, right? For me, anyhow, it would be things that affect my GI, right? And that may not affect everybody, but it does me. You know, some people like that. I have zero problems with that. Well, that's great. I wish I was one of those people. I'm not. All right. So, but I will tell you this: over the last 4 days, for sure, I've eaten 1 to 2 salads a day. So, and by the way, that's all I've eaten. Like I didn't eat anything else to go with it, except for the one day I had poutine, which was Sunday, and I didn't work out Sunday. I just acted like an old mopey old man. So,
you know,
I was stuck in my feels all day. So it is what it is.
So hang on a second. So, and I'll say this: like we all have like our low points, right? Like
yeah.
We all have our days where they call it. I guess the kids call it bed rotting now. Where you just lay in bed, watch TV, and like eat food or whatever. Like
I couldn't do that because I haven't slept in 2 days. So I as of right now, have not slept in 2 days. As of right this second.
Jesus.
And so
I hope you can recover from that. But what I'm saying is, like, you get a day, which you don't get as a week, right? Like, you know, you get a day. Everyone can have a bad day and just say, fuck it. I'm going to get up and try again tomorrow, you know? Yeah. But I can take it easy on myself today. And I encourage people to do that from time to time. So don't feel bad about it is all I'm going to say.
Like I said, just for those who don't understand how bad sometimes those feelings can trigger on, take the person you consider your best friend in the entire world. And if that's not something you can think about, then think about the person you love the most in the world. Put those two things together, and that's what this pain feels like. It's the worst pain ever. But, and that's just and the reason why I'm saying, I know you do. It's like that internal gut issue that, you know, you feel like you got something in the bottom of the pit of your stomach, and you're like, what the hell, you know? But anyway, I don't want to get into all that. I mean, we spent the first 20 minutes talking about it. But
Mother's Day, yeah.
Mother's Day, yeah.
Mother's Day, fuck yeah.
But no, I did. So like yesterday, one of the good things I did, like I really enjoyed doing was, I mean, when it's not the sad ones, of course, like people whose mothers passed away, you know, and they post those pictures. But for the most part, I love, probably the thing that made me the happiest is the last 2 days I've seen like different grandmothers that are my age. We'll just say that. I know that makes me sound old, and it is what it is, but some of my peers in my peer generation are grandparents, and watching them play with their kids, whether they're grandkids, whether they're, you know, little boys or little girls or whatever, that just makes, it's one of those hallmark moments. But, you know, be gentle in my heart, you know. It's one of those kind of moments, you know, you sit there and you're like, wow. So it's just so beautiful watching that, because something that I'll probably have one day. I just hope that it's further away than Preston probably wants to make it, because we had to have a talk Saturday night, because I was like, so you just, I mean, yeah, well, that's because he has decided that, well, if his girlfriend's parents say it's okay for him to stay over, it's just perfectly okay for him to stay over. No. I'm like, that's not how this rolls. That's not what we're doing.
Nope.
And he's like, well, it's closer to my mom's house in the morning. I'm like, well, then go to your mom's house right now. And that way you don't have to worry about it in the morning, you know? So, but anyway. Well, there was some dead silence.
No, that's good. That's good.
No.
Gina, did we ever get to hear your full Mother's Day?
Oh,
No,
we did.
never.
We should
It's
do that.
okay. It's all beautiful.
This time I really will push off.
And I'm gonna let this dog out. Looking like a moron.
No, actually, I had bought her this plant stand, and it's this huge plant stand. It's got like 7 different shelves on it. Well, not really shelves, but like planters that are all go up, totally made out of cedar. I didn't realize when it arrived that the entire thing needed to be assembled all the way up.
Of course it did.
Each one of the 7 boxes has 24 screws.
Real quick. Give us all the detail and give us your real feelings.
Yeah, it took me 2.5 hours to assemble this son of a bitch. I'm an engineer.
Was it fucking IKEA?
It felt like IKEA.
Because I swear to God,
and further, when you were putting it together, you're like these fucking engineers.
Exactly.
Like
And
fucking,
on top of
so
that, when I found out what you could do with this thing is there's several different ways you could set it up. You could set it up where all the boxes are level, flat. Or you could set it up where they tilt one way or the other. You know, they're fixed
like
on that tilt.
Kind of.
But, you know, one way or the other. That's when I found out that the bastards included one wrong part, because there's 2 offset holes on the bottom of the planters to make it either level or offset.
Yeah.
Well, they sent 2 identical ends, and there's no way you can make it do that by
With
that.
the identical ends. Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't fabricate one?
That one out. Huh?
You didn't fabricate one?
Yeah, I did.
No, I know. As an engineer, I'd hope like hell you did.
But
because me, as you
this
put in
was
a lot
an
of those
amazing project.
words
After
you're
I
not
got
supposed
done
to
with
use, I do that all the time.
After I got done assembling that thing, she's happy. She's in glory. On top of that, I mean, trying to get out of her what she wanted to cook. I mean, what she wanted for dinner. It was just me and her. The kids, our kids were not going to be here. It was just her and I. And of all the things that I could have cooked, smoked, roasted, broiled, whatever, she wanted
your penis.
Yeah, that too. Chicken and biscuits with gravy. That's what she wanted.
There you go.
So, hey.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with this. Fried chicken or
put that in the slow cooker, man. Had that thing going, had everything going. Just sit there, the whole house smelled like, yeah, it was great.
Chicken.
But got that thing assembled. Then, out there, 30 bags of mulch get dumped around in the different various.
What do you got smoking in front of you right now?
That's an air freshener thing that fires off.
Oh, okay. I was like,
he's smoking that penis.
I said,
yeah, buddy.
I was
just
just
rubbing it hard,
blazing
man.
up
It's just got smoke. It's lighting it up.
It's not the direction I thought that conversation was going to go, but
hey, but no.
But here we are. That's why we're at the bar.
It's an air freshener thing that goes off here on a time thing. But
well, if you're at the bar, that is something that would be you would say at the bar.
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying. I mean, I would say that at the bar. There's been people that's heard me say that.
I would have answered the same way at the bar too. It's like, yeah, I'm rubbing one out.
Several people that know me pretty well that knows that I've heard this before. Like you talk to everybody at the bar. I'm like, I know, and I'm antisocial. I don't know why that happens, but it's one of my finer traits. Maybe you should enjoy it.
Yep, I'm not.
First of all, I'm a delight.
But yep, I end up talking to just about everybody. But and I'm not a people person at all.
Yeah, I'd like to be. When we went to Theo Vaughn and stuff. We went to the bar afterwards. We were just talking to random people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't have any choice then. That place was so.
I mean, they were very much on top of you. You couldn't. I mean, you could tell what they had for lunch.
I remember one time I was like, yeah, I'm ready to pay out, and they're like, what do you got? And I'm like, whatever's in front of me. So apparently, I might have bought like a whole roll.
Oh, jeez.
I'm being facetious.
Can we
There
wait
you
till
go,
the whole
smoke.
month of June to talk about smoking penises? There you go, Chuck.
Yeah,
We'll hold
no.
off till next month. Thank you, Chuck.
All right.
I'll wear a pride shirt for every show next month.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
I still might do. I don't know if it's pride shirt. I got the little equal sign shirt.
I mean, if there was anybody on the show that I thought would probably bounce some balls off his chin, it would be you.
That's a glowing endorsement. Thank you. That's right. Now we're at the bar.
Good.
All right, now we're at the bar.
That was good.
I sometimes have good ones.
But no, after I got all that stuff assembled and had everything on there,
You talk an awful lot about
mulching all the
bouncing
flower
of
beds,
things
the
off of people's
walkway.
faces.
Just done with mulch finally. But yeah, that was it. Mother's Day. Mother's Day weather was beautiful for a change. Usually it frickin' rains, but that was a beautiful day. Ended up we're
It
out
did
there sitting
rain.
on the
It
deck.
did rain here. I don't know if it rained like all over the place, but I know for
We got some rain.
Yeah, we had some rain here in Colombia. That's when I watched this movie on Netflix. You guys got to see. Definitely those. First of all, let's tell you how fucking dark it was apparently for me this weekend. So I'm sitting there on Sunday. I'm like just flipping through Netflix, and I didn't want to go to Hulu because it has a name on there that I love, but it's the simple fact that I was like, no, and so I went to Netflix, you know, but I was sitting there, and there was Vince Vaughn. I was like, you know what, I need some laughter in my heart, right? You know, Vince Vaughn makes me giggle and stuff like that, and so it's this. I think it's called Nomi. It means it's Italian for grandma.
Okay.
Nami. That's what it is. Nami. That's what it is.
Nami.
So it's Italian for grandma. So anyway, it's on there, and kind of the premise of the story on Netflix is when it comes on, it's his grandmother obviously passed on before his mother, but he always loved dinner time with his Nami and mom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they both pass away. He takes all the money he has and he makes a restaurant. And this is based on a true story, by the way. I left that part out, and that's a very important part. And it's still running.
Vince Vaughn doing this.
Yeah. So he goes and gets this restaurant in Staten Island, and he excuse me, he hires only grandparents like Namis to be the people that make the food. And so that's the chefs that are cooking. Crap. And what's her name? Giant Titties, like 105 years old. Sharon Stone. No, Sharon. It is Sharon something. Red hair.
Sharon's not that old. I mean, she's older, but like.
No. It wasn't Sharon Stone. Giant fucking titties. What is her name? Sharon Sarandon. Sharon Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon.
Susan.
Who cares?
Yes.
But I described her correctly.
Yes.
I described her perfectly.
I was like,
I thought she was going to Christina Hendricks, but then again, yeah, okay.
But anyway, yeah, she's in there, and then there's a couple other people, but they're made to look older, and they play it off really well. But
that's funny.
So my mom,
but first of all, to interject just a second, like, shut up and take my money. If you're talking about a restaurant, it's just. All the cooks are grandmas.
Yes.
Oh yes.
You gotta watch
it. Shut up and take my money. Like I want to go.
And the way they serve it is every table, whether that's part of your family or not, is all one family, and
it's all like a big yeah.
Kind of like
that's
like Boca de Beppo wanted to be.
Boca de Beppo. Well, there's also I think they're still open in Nashville. I think it's called Monell's.
Yeah, Monell's is still there.
Yeah, and it's a basically it's just there's one right by the airport and there's one somewhere else in town.
I think there's I think you'd have to. Maybe Steven's watching, but
yeah, Steven, let us know in the comments if you're watching. Man.
Well, what I was going to say is
I've been there a couple times, and it's just a big dinner table, and you're sitting next to people you don't know. Sometimes
we went to high school with a girl that worked at or works at Monell's.
It's a great restaurant. It is.
No, I know it.
You guys go to Nashville, you should go. Absolutely.
I haven't been to it in a long time, but yes, you're right.
Same. Yeah, it's been a number of years, but like it's. You won't do poorly there.
It's
a you issue.
First of all, there's some great restaurants here. Just stop bringing your damn bachelorette parties here. That shit's getting old.
That is annoying.
Really,
I will say, because I have extended family sometimes I don't see for years and years and years. I got a cousin who she comes down somewhat regularly to come to bachelorette parties, and we usually get dinner together somewhere. So it's nice to get to see her that way. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, the Woo Girls, it's it's Nashville, man. You're gonna get what you get. Watch out for pedal taverns that do nothing. By the way, if you're pedaling, it doesn't do anything. You're not driving. I just need to put that out there in case anybody.
That's because the people are like, "Gotta pedal." I'm like,
"You gotta pedal faster." It's like you're.
Yeah, no.
The only time I ever rode one of those was I was stationed in Virginia for a while, like all good Navy people have been in their life. And what's that?
Norfolk.
Everybody. Well, I was at Little Creek, but yes.
Okay.
But I went up to. I went past Demnick and I was heading up to what's that called? It's where William and Mary College is located. Williamsburg.
Okay.
Dude, I stayed a week there.
Yeah.
That place is awesome.
I got another cousin. She got her doctorate out there in archaeology, actually.
At
And she studies like that area, like Colonial Williamsburg. Like that's her focus.
So that's my dream for
She's
like
dug
downtown.
up shit from there.
That's my dream for downtown Columbia. I want to keep it all the same.
Yeah.
I don't want it to come Nashville,
Just wait. And not just here, Franklin, Lebanon.
Well, Franklin, I've been saying that since.
Yeah, I mean it's basically already there.
Yeah, no, Franklin. I seen the best shirt ever the other day, and I was like, dude, I got to figure out where he bought this at. And I should have asked the guy, but I wasn't in the mood. It was a Saturday. We'll say that was within the last couple of days. And anyway, so this guy said Cala Frankenstein or Frankenstein. Cala Frankenstein. And I was like, that is so freaking true because we all did move to California. I mean, we moved from California to Franklin.
Yeah, a lot of transplant.
Well, that's not entirely true. I moved to
you said you moved to
Murfreesboro first.
Oh, that's right. You were here first.
Yeah, I went to. Well, no. When I came back, no. When I first moved to Tennessee, I moved to Mount Juliet.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and had a great senior year. Yeah, I moved there in 93 or 92 and had a great class I graduated with. A couple of good people in that class. Just two. There's only two. I'm playing.
Oh man.
But
you were fun.
Sometimes, even when I'm not in my full game,
Humor helps. It's a stress reliever.
Yes.
So when you asked me earlier when we were talking about music and things of that nature, that's what I've been listening to a lot lately. Is I know I have two. By the way, I have 2 tickets. Anybody, Dave, you may be the person for December. I think it's December 12th.
Okay.
Go see Nate Bargatze. And
that dude is hilarious.
I know. I did have a different person, but it was on that.
I'm happy to be your backup, Dave.
Yeah. So anyway, publicly I said that.
Spill the big spoon. I don't care what he says. He's a teddy bear. He just wants to be cuddled. Look at him.
I do want to be cuddled. Let's make sure we're clear on that. But you guys made me giggle. I needed this tonight. Thank you. I definitely want to thank you. And again, the only reason why I talk about the true personal struggles is that well, they're real, and there's a lot of people that have suffered all kinds of trauma, whether it's been service-related trauma or, a previous spouse or whatever it might have been, right? And sometimes you just have to go, do I have the support crew that I need to have right then and there? And if I don't, what's missing from it, right? Mm-hmm. And you try to figure that out. And sometimes maybe that's an absent of you, in this case, me. Maybe, I don't know. But maybe it's one of those times where you need to, where I'm the person putting the work in party together, right? So I think you need to have. I think it's hard. It really is hard, and people deal with it differently. And I hate to get 2 weeks in a row serious. Last time it was I wanted to do math equations. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I have found so many new tricks. If you guys are not falling asleep listening to either us or any type of math equations, you're stupid. Because I have
Well,
learned.
either using our nonsense or math, or you're dumb.
Yeah, that's true. That's the only way you can look at it.
Which is a
Right
great
there.
time to remind everyone
That's the only way
to
you
like
can
and subscribe, hit the little bell.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be dumb, do you?
No,
Joey
no.
said you'll be dumb if you don't.
I mean,
fall
that's
asleep listening to us.
facts.
That's what I took away.
I'm speaking
you know?
facts. I'm speaking facts.
It's science.
It's science.
It's science.
I know the science. I am the science.
My best, his best Ron Burgundy voice. Yeah.
Anyway, dude,
Got you
oh my
stumped.
god. So here's what we gotta do this weekend, man. We gotta
What's up?
if you can, you and I, we gotta do a movie night. I want to watch the Ron Burgundy movies. And here's the reason why.
That would be great.
Yeah, because I've been thinking about that the last couple of days. Like, I've had in the last 3 days, somebody made I went and bought another piece of vinyl, and I'm sure that's where I heard one of the Ron Burgundy quotes. Mm-hmm. And what's funny is no one gets it unless you watch the movie and you're probably our age.
Yeah.
I've
You
heard
have to.
so
Like,
many
I was
times.
I saw Anchorman 2. I was in the fucking aisles in the movie theater laughing. Like,
Well, dude, when I see like, for example, Tropic Thunder or Tommy Boy, I mean, come on. Like when I was doing that Fat Man and Little Suit. Yeah. If you don't get that reference, what's wrong, Richard?
You miss
Richard
out
on a
on
hug?
like, cultural touchstones, you know? No, for real. That's why I tell people. Like, I had a bunch of coworkers who had never seen Office Space before, and we work in like the most Office Space type.
You know what's funny
like,
is I'm going to say
with
this,
all the tech aspects of it. And shit. I was like, dude, go! You have homework. Go.
All right. So real quick, I'll make a full confession here. I have never watched. There's 2 things that everybody watches, or 3 things, because my son gets onto me almost every night about one thing. But I have never watched Office Spaces, not a single episode.
I can tell, first of all, because you call it Office Spaces.
Okay, Office Depot. I don't know what
which is the most like boomer thing ever. No offense, but like Office Space. The movie's called Office Space. It came out in like '96 or some shit. All right, this is not new.
It's been a while.
But anyway, go ahead.
What's the other one?
There's 2 more.
Uh-oh.
Did I say there was only 2?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta make this one good.
Said 2 or 3.
You know, we'll just go with 1. I haven't seen that. Oh no, there's actually 2 or 3. So I haven't seen that. I've never seen the Vikings thing. What's that called? The one that everybody talks about. It was on HBO or some shit like that.
You're about Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I never seen or read.
That's not Vikings. That's like medieval.
Okay, well, see, this is how much I know about it.
Yeah.
And
you're not missing much.
There's some good shit. I mean, it started a little rough. It ended very rough. There was a lot of cool shit that happened in the meantime. Like in the middle, there's a lot of good stuff.
We did get 3 dire wolves out of it.
You did. They're like regular wolves, but dire.
They're dire.
Sorry, that's a South Park joke. Anyway, yeah, no, Game of Thrones is good. I would really recommend to read the books first.
What's that one with the guys, the meth guy, and he's a school teacher?
Oh, Breaking Bad.
I've never seen a single episode of that either.
No.
I think you would probably appreciate that.
Here you go, real quick. I got one that's a alibi, and I've been needing time to watch it. You know when I'm gonna start tonight.
The show Alibi?
No. I needed an alibi.
I was like, I don't know.
Not an alibi. Like I don't mean an alibi in that aspect. I'm talking about the past tense of it, where you said you put everything on solid.
It's
bullshit protected. Warning. There you go. Bullshitted yourself. Anyway.
So yeah, I've never seen Breaking Bad, but I find it hilarious because Ethan. So, sorry about that. I had my foot through there the wrong way. But anyway, not through.
Oh, look who joined us.
Hey,
little old fashioned.
What's up, bud?
Cheers, a little old fashioned. Thanks for joining.
But
and then Chuck said Trailer Park Boys is a great show. I tried so hard to get into that. I just found it a little too close to home.
What?
It's a little too close to home. think I've been living in Tennessee too long.
Again, you're on that cusp of like kind of cool, but not right there yet. And what I
Yeah.
mean by that is like, so you have like Generation X and everybody before, we believed in kicking people's asses. All right.
Mhm.
And then it is our fault as Generation X. We raised these dumb fucks.
I'll be
And
talking about Gen Z.
millennials.
Gen X didn't raise millennials.
Okay. There was a few
Boomers
like,
You're
did.
like 6 years older than me. You didn't raise me.
that was funny.
No comment.
That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know if I raised you or not.
Hang on a second. Hang on. Wait. Whoa. Back up. What? No.
I bet he stood up on his toes.
Shit.
That's funny. It brings up another person in the world.
Literally.
You're going to hell, dude. And I didn't even want to say GD tonight. That's not what I wanted to say at all. This is all your fault.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I'll take credit / blame.
But yeah, no. Boomers, we probably did that. But we don't give a shit.
Yeah. My mom took a part-time job. She's been retired like 3 months maybe.
Oh man.
And she's like 70. And I'm like, what?
I was laughing. Yes, I was laughing.
I'm like, but why would you do that? Like, why? Why? You can stop now. She's been working since she was 14. Like,
Yeah.
Stop. Anyway.
Yeah, but one of the things that's cool about that. So my great aunt Lucy, who I named my daughter after, who did pass away, right? She's definitely in the top 2 most inspirational women I've ever known in my life, right? She bought me 50 shares of Mall Bell.
Cool.
That's Bell South that then became AT&T.
Ooh.
50 shares.
Yeah, what's that word now? I wonder.
I have no idea, but I mean,
worth a little bit of money.
Yeah, it's reasonable. I have a financial manager, but yeah, certified.
We still need to have that conversation. I need to get with them.
Yeah, I hooked up a couple people in the last year, but they're serious people. At least I hope so. So yeah, I've hooked up a couple people. So you know one of them, and the other one. Well, you know the other one too. The other one we call White though.
Yep. Yep. I got it. And your guy too, Gino.
Yep.
I forgot. Things will once.
That's why part-time job. No, I'm not.
She's not doing it because she needs the money. It's not about the money. She was making. She told me actually she was making over $200,000.
Who's this?
My mother.
Oh wow.
As a lawyer, she worked.
No, I know how much lawyers make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really funny. She told me how salty she was because her brothers, my uncles, are surgeons, and like how much more money they were making so much earlier in their career.
Your mom was a public defender.
Yeah.
She worked for the government. That's not the same thing.
So
she worked for like the VA,
the
Department of Agriculture,
I thought you told me. I'm sorry, and I apologize. I thought you had said before that she worked for the government as a public defender.
I mean, that was like probably her first job as a lawyer. I think she's a public defender for like a brief period of time, but that was like she would have still been in her 20s, like that kind of thing. But like no, most of the time she was working for the federal government. Same as my father.
He's a lawyer too, right?
He was, yeah.
What did he do? Was he a public defender?
He was not a public defender. He worked on class action lawsuits for the EEOC. So when it's not like, someone said when there is sort of
a HR department for the federal government.
Basically, yes. For
not up around Cleveland anywhere, right?
For what now?
Not up around Cleveland anywhere, right?
Pittsburgh. Well, no. I mean, now it's been. I mean, they went to college in Pittsburgh. They went to Duquesne, but no, because they work in DC.
No, you missed the point. Remember the picture I sent you back at the end of March? The guy ran into at the
real quick. You sent so much shit to us. How's it possible we would know?
That's a
What?
fair point.
We
we send memes and the Instagram.
No, your
shit.
twin that I sent you the picture of that I was
That guy.
bourbon with.
No. Yeah,
He's from Cleveland. He could pass for your twin.
He could pass for my twin.
Except he's got a little more meat on his bones than you do.
But what I'm hearing is he's gay also.
I didn't approach that topic with him.
But the guy, he really does look like he could be my cousin or something.
He could be your twin.
Yeah. It's the guy looked uncannily.
It was spooky. I'm like, hey, what the hell are you doing here?
If he said, well, I make a lot of poor life decisions, then it was definitely me.
Wow. That hit hard right there, man. We're going to open and close the same way. Wow. That hit right there. A lot of poor decisions too.
Well, people
thought I made the greatest decision ever. I really thought that's what's funny. Like that's the funniest argument ever. I hope I stay live the whole time. But that decision, like you sit there and you go, made some poor decisions back in the day, whatever. Okay. If you ask a guy what a poor decision is and you ask a girl what a poor decision are, I think that would be vastly two different things, right?
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
Sure could.
I mean, it's just like back in.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys remember when we were young, they would have you'd go in and you'd fight it. One of those monkeys, those orange monkeys.
Orangutan.
Yeah, orangutan. So you could fight those things, and you would. It was always dudes doing it. Those kind of things. I don't know where the fuck I was going.
So I see why you fight. By the way, it was actually a kangaroo. So why'd you? It's like that. That was a mean orangutan, sir. That was a kangaroo, and this is a Wendy's.
I lost it for a moment there.
That's all good, man.
I got spinning, and
you took a little sippy poo. That
little hamster got going. He was like, and his head was like slinging around. That was me at the last. I did have a little bit bigger dose than what I was advised to do, but I've had that kind of week, so it is what it is. Or weekend, I should say. It shouldn't be week. It's a weekend. Yep. But man, we were talking. It was so serious, and I couldn't finish.
No, we were talking about different perspective from a male, female point of view
about poor life decisions.
You were at.
I was just saying that for us, we look at for me, for example, you put your entire I was going to say you put your entire heart and soul and everything into it, and your faith, if that's the person you are. And you put it all in there, and then you roll those dice, and it fails. That's one of those decisions you look at it and you're like, wow. And when you say when it fails, 9 times out of 10, the guy is like, well, I shouldn't say the guy. A person could be like, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, not thinking anything about anything further than. Mm-hmm. That. So for me, I would say that could be one of those things where you look at it and go,
Yeah, but
I'd still argue. I would make the argument that absolute argument is the best decision a person can make.
But I get what you mean, and you're invested in this, and all of a sudden it's like boom.
Yep.
Yep. But then again,
we both
you look at it from a different perspective. It's like, okay, what did I learn from this? And move on.
Yeah. It's funny to me.
It's tough to do.
I'm not a believer in habits in threes or whatever, but Jody, you, me, and Ross, all within the last 12 months, all within the last year, just going.
I don't really
all in. Okay, all right. We'll let it go. Yeah. But we are at 50 minutes, by the way. So
we could just end it right there. That'd been fine. We can took this after show, and y'all can ask me all these questions, but I do not want. That's not.
No, we don't have to do it. We're cutting up and having fun.
All I was saying about the aspect of how it relates to PTSD and people that have service connection is it's another trigger, and when you have those triggers, you have to build up a callus on it, essentially, right? And you may be able to sometimes get your get everything lubricated up there where you think it's all going to work, but it's still stretching this, that, whatever. and you think you're good and you feel strong and you know you got this, and then all of a sudden another dimension comes up and you just don't have the value anymore, right?
Right.
So that was what I was referencing in that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, on that cheerful, uplifting note. And by the way, guys, look, we're up and down. Again, this is like a conversation you would have with real friends at a bar because we are real friends. We're not at a real bar together right now. But this is what we do instead. That's why we started doing this shit. So we could talk to each other for real. We are not paid internet/TV personalities. We're not performing for anybody. Fuck that. We're just who we are, right? Sometimes we have bad days. That's why we get together and have a drink about it. All right. So I'll raise a glass with much love to both of y'all.
Hey.
For anybody watching, listening, good days and bad days. We're here to drink together.
Yep. And happy belated Mother's Day.
And happy belated Mother's Day. Exactly.
Damn it.
To all the moms, we love y'all.
And grandmas.
And grandmas. Because we wouldn't have the moms without the grandmas.
Well, it's like Jennifer. I'll call Jennifer out. She made a nice post in the VIP. And if you're not a member of the VIP, hey. Get
with Gino. Gino's the VIP moderator.
She made a very good post. And
as of right now.
applicable not only for Mother's Day, but for Father's Day, because there is that single parent that fills both those roles successfully. That just does never get recognized. And Mark Hill, if you're listening, you're one of those gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Agreed.
To all y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers. Be good to yourselves. We're going to call it here. See you next time, guys.
Hey, it's all beautiful. Have a great week, everybody.